Hi, this is Jake Berry with Deidra Barroso from 956sports.com, and we're actually here at the Grindstone in Edinburgh today. Great ambiance, but we're here because Deidra actually is taking some college classes, and one college class today made you a little mad today. They're talking about comparing Katy High School's or Katy ISD's new stadium with the Valley and kind of lumping us in with them. It made you mad. Why?
Well, first things first, we're not from Katy. Therefore, we don't know where their money goes into, who is putting it where, because we're in the Valley. And, my professor went off saying about how they spent $70 million in their new stadium. And, he just threw it out there, just simple like that, without statistics, without any information, to back up his statement. And it bothered me because for one, I'm a big fan of Katy High School. And for two, he doesn't live in that area, so he shouldn't, just be blabbering about the area because he's not from there.
Okay. And one thing that people kind of look at is that they passed a $90 million bond, and 70 million of it, 69.5, is actually going towards the stadium. We don't see that around here very often. McAllen, for example, is actually building their own new scoreboard. It's a $1 million scoreboard, but in 5 years, they're actually going to have it paid off with revenue from ad sales. And in the 6th year, the actual booster programs will actually make around $34,000 a year. So it's pretty good money. Now, we're not Katy, like you said, but, do you see that down here? Do you see stadiums being built?
Often like that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no.
Well, not that size.
Well, no, but again, like how you said, all those statistics, how it's going to help McAllen in the long run. You had great, statistics, all your information. He didn't have anything like that. We don't know, how they're paying for it, or we don't know if it's going to go back, to their great team, to their school, or anything like that. Like, he had no information on it, and which bothered me. It really did.
So you're mad because, first of all, you kind of fangirl on the stadium of Katy, or Katy ISD, but also, you're mad because, he was comparing with the Valley and knocking it. Now, real quick, you got a little mad also at somebody that compared football players down here and basically said that most football players get lame something jobs.
Yes.
Why were you mad about that?
Okay, well, first of all, that was like what really blew me off, because before I was, trying to keep cool and try not to say anything.
And not paying attention in class. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then when she said that, my attention, quickly turned to her, and she sits in the front of the class, in the middle. So I just look at her, and I'm waiting for her to say something else, And she said, so she doesn't say anything, so that's all she says. And I was like, wait a minute, how are you just going to say that they have lame something jobs? Again, show me the statistics. Show me, your information that you were so knowledgeable in, to say something like that.
Yeah. Now, one thing I can say as a former coach, I coached 10 years down here, is that sometimes sports is the only thing that keeps athletes in school, because some of them don't want to come to school, and sports is kind of their only reason to come to school. Mm-hmm. And so I can understand that. Now you have to admit there are some great stories, like Bradley Stevens, who went to Texas A&M, came back. He's working in Mexico now. But you also have like some athletes that don't do much too.
Again, like you said, you have some that do, some that don't. So how are you just going to say that all the boys that played high school football have lame jobs? First of all, she's nobody to say that. And to me, it's especially if you don't know about, high school sports, or the environment, how much work they put in, what it takes to, be in varsity as a freshman, or whatever the case may be. You're nobody to talk. And, being that I'm a former athlete and, best friends to a lot of like people that play football, it doesn't take, just a pretty face or whatever, great size to be on a great football team. Like, there's hard work and dedication that comes with it. And I feel like, by her saying that was taking that completely away from these guys, and I mean, give credit where it's due. If it's not due, like you said, there's some that don't. Okay, well, there's some that don't, but not every single high school football player now has a lame job.
Well, there you have it. Deidra Barroso is mad, angry at her college class. And We'll be back again whenever something makes her mad. But one thing I can say is don't talk about Katy football. Don't talk about.
Don't talk down on Valley athletes.